Emily's entire body went numb the second she heard it. "Mom?" The voice came from somewhere deep inside the house, soft, weak, trembling, but real. Not a memory, not her imagination, not another cruel trick from grief. It was a child's voice, and somehow, after 3 years of pain, madness, and unanswered prayers, it sounded exactly like Lily. For one impossible moment, Emily Carter forgot everything else. She forgot the freezing storm outside. She forgot the shotgun trembling in her hands. She forgot the dark hallway, the rotten walls, the house hidden deep in the Vermont woods. And she even forgot the man standing in the bedroom doorway. The man with the scar running down his neck. The man she had trusted more than anyone in town. Sheriff Thomas Reed. Her breath caught in her throat as she stared at him. He stood there in the shadows, broad shoulders filling the doorway, snow melting off his coat, his expression calm in a way that made Emily's blood run cold. This was the same man who had stood on her porch 3 years ago, telling her he would do everything possible to find her daughter. The same man who had led search teams through the woods. The same man who had hugged her when she collapsed at Lily's candlelight vigil. The same man who had looked into her eyes and told her the trail had gone cold. And now, in a hidden house in the forest, with children's beds behind her and tally marks carved into the walls, Emily finally understood the truth. He had never lost the trail. He had been the trail. "Where is she?" Emily whispered, her voice shaking so badly she barely recognized it. Sheriff Reed tilted his head slightly, as if he were disappointed in her. "You should have stayed home, Emily." Her grip tightened on the shotgun. "Where is my daughter?" From somewhere deeper in the house, the voice came again, weaker this time. "Mom?" Emily's eyes filled with tears. That was Lily. Older, fainter, fragile. But it was her. Sheriff Reed stepped forward. "Put the gun down." Emily raised it higher. "You took her." His jaw tightened. "I saved her." The words hit Emily like a slap. For 1 second, she couldn't even process what she had heard. Then rage exploded through her. "Saved her?" she shouted. "You stole a 6-year-old child." He didn't flinch. She would have been better off. Emily's face twisted in disbelief. Better off than with her mother? Reed's eyes darkened. Better off than with Daniel. At the mention of her husband's name, Emily froze. Daniel Carter, dead for 3 years, killed in what everyone called a tragic car accident on an icy mountain road. Reed's cold smile widened when he saw the confusion on her face. "Daniel found out too much," he said. Emily's heart slammed against her ribs. "What are you talking about?" Reed glanced toward the hallway, then back at her. He started asking questions about the disappearances, about old reports, about the girls. Girls. Plural. The room spun. Emily shook her head. "No." "He thought he was going to expose me," Reed said calmly. "He thought he was going to take Lily and leave town. He should have kept his mouth shut." Emily stared at him, unable to breathe. "You killed Daniel!" The sheriff didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence said everything. Emily's hands trembled so violently she thought she might drop the gun. 3 years. 3 years she believed she lost her husband to bad weather. 3 years she buried him, mourned him, and blamed fate. And all this time the man standing in front of her had taken both of them from her. The storm pounded against the walls. Emily swallowed hard. "Where is Lily?" Reed looked at her like she was a child asking the wrong question. "She doesn't remember you the way you want." Emily's entire body tensed. "She's alive." She adapted. Children always do. Another sound. A tiny movement. A faint cry from somewhere beneath them. Emily's eyes dropped to the floor. Reed noticed. And in that split second, she understood. Not behind the walls. Not upstairs. below. Before he could move, Emily fired. The shotgun blast exploded through the room like thunder. Reed screamed as the shot tore through his shoulder instead of his chest. He slammed into the doorframe, blood splattering across the wallpaper. Emily stumbled backward from the recoil, ears ringing. But Reed was faster than she expected. Even wounded, he lunged at her like an animal. He crashed into her, knocking the shotgun from her hands. It skidded across the floor into the dark hallway. Emily hit the wall so hard her vision blurred. Reed grabbed her throat with one hand, shotting her backward. "You stupid woman." Emily drove her knee upward with everything she had. He grunted, loosened his grip, and she clawed at the bleeding wound in his shoulder. Reed roared in pain. Emily shoved him hard, sending him stumbling sideways into the bedframe. She didn't think, she ran. "Lily!" she screamed, sprinting into the hallway. The old house seemed to swallow her voice. She burst into the next room, empty. Another room, old furniture, broken toys, no child. A pantry, locked from the outside, empty shelves. Then a final back room, colder than the others. Her flashlight beam swept wildly across boxes, blankets, and walls covered in children's drawings. Dozens of them. Crayon drawings, stick figure families, trees, houses, little girls. Some were signed with names, some weren't. Emily's stomach turned. This wasn't just Lily. This was years of stolen childhoods. Behind her, Reed's footsteps thundered closer. Emily slammed the door shut and threw a tall cabinet in front of it just as he hit it from the other side. The wood shook violently. "You're not leaving this house," he shouted. Emily turned, breathing hard, scanning the room. There had to be something. There had to be a hidden space, a trap door, a basement, anything. Then she saw it. One floorboard near the corner looked slightly raised, just enough to notice if you were desperate enough. She dropped to her knees and dug her fingers under the edge. It lifted. Underneath was a rusted iron ring. A hatch. Her heart nearly stopped. She yanked it open. Cold, damp air rose from the darkness below. And then, "Mom!" Closer now. Real. Emily's tears came instantly. "Lily!" she cried. "Baby, I'm here! I'm here!" She pulled the hatch open wider and saw narrow wooden steps descending into blackness. Behind her, the cabinet slammed as Reed hit the door again. The hinges cracked. Emily didn't hesitate. She dropped down the steps and pulled the hatch shut above her, just as the door exploded open upstairs. The underground space was small, a hidden cellar, concrete walls, a single hanging light bulb swinging overhead, a thin mattress in the corner, a bucket, a shelf of canned food, and there, sitting, wrapped in a faded blanket, staring at her with wide blue eyes, was Lily. Emily couldn't breathe. She looked older, thinner, paler. Her blonde hair was tangled and longer than Emily remembered. Her cheeks were hollow, her hands trembled, but there was no doubt, no question, no fear of being wrong. It was her daughter. "Lily," Emily whispered. The girl stared, frozen. "You're my mom?" Emily dropped to her knees so hard they hit the concrete with a crack. "Yes," she cried. "Yes, sweetheart, I'm your mom!" For one awful second, Lily didn't move. 3 years of lies sat between them. 3 years of being told who she was, where she belonged, what to believe. Then Lily's lip trembled, and suddenly she threw herself forward. Emily caught her in her arms and held her tighter than she had held anything in her life. Both of them sobbed, the kind of sobbing that comes from years of pain breaking open all at once. Emily buried her face in Lily's hair. "I looked for you every day, every single day. I never stopped." Lily clung to her like she was afraid she might disappear if she looked away too long. "I thought you forgot me." Emily pulled back just enough to cup her daughter's face. "Never," she said. "Never, not for 1 second." A violent crash shook the ceiling above them. Reed, he was coming.
Emily wiped her face quickly. "Listen to me. We have to leave right now." Lily nodded, terrified. But as Emily stood and took her hand, Lily grabbed her sleeve. "Ava!" Emily looked down at her. "What about Ava?" Lily's eyes filled with panic. "She's my sister." Emily froze. "What?" Lily shook her head quickly. "Not like me, not from you, from them." Emily's mind raced. Lily swallowed hard. "The woman, the one I called May, she had a baby, Ava. She said if I behaved, Ava would stay safe." Emily's chest tightened. Ava, the little girl sleeping back at the farmhouse, the one who'd shown up at her door in the middle of the night holding Lily's rabbit. Not just another child, not just a witness, connected, tied to all of this. She brought